Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go to Las Vegas in the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series for the start of the Cup Series playoffs here today as we had subscriber Nick Fow in the car for the Xfinity Series as he started about midfield as the kind of usual for our team as he came through turns 1 and turns 2 going 3 wide up the middle, being pretty aggressive early on in this race, and it would pay off because as he came through past the midway point he had made some passes and moving his way forwards, now past the 0-8 of Gray Galding, and as he came towards the end of this race he had actually been able to climb up towards P10 as he came out of turn 4 on the final lap here in Las Vegas as he went down this front straightaway, crossing the line to finish P10 at Las Vegas, as obviously our team misses the playoffs in the Xfinity Series. Hopefully we can focus on next season hiring new employees and see what we can do and become a lot more competitive. But now we come to Cup Series qualifying for the first race of the Monster Energy Cup Series playoff. It was not a good effort from myself with a 31.2, and we go P18 for the first qualifying effort of the playoffs. So definitely got some work to do here tonight in Las Vegas. And on the pole we got Brad Keselowski in the number 2 car.
We're in Las Vegas for the South Point 400. Now, the 10-race NASCAR playoffs start today. After a knockdown, drag-out regular season, only 16 drivers still have a shot at NASCAR's greatest prize. So pull up a chair, and we'll deal you in.
Alright, thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here for the South Point Casino, or Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas 400. Kyle Larson crashed during qualifying, so he's starting at the back, and so is Corey LaJoie, who failed pre-race inspection. So 2 drivers sent to the back here in Las Vegas as we're ready to go green here at the mile and a half to start the playoffs. Now, obviously, one of the top seeds we are in the playoff grid behind Kyle Busch, who has 9 wins coming into the playoffs this season as the green flag is out, and the playoffs are officially underway here for our second attempt. Hopefully this time we can go a little further and make it to the Final Four and compete for a championship at Homestead Miami Speedway. Unfortunately, we didn't get to compete for a championship last season. Obviously, kind of one driver has already kind of officially almost got themselves into the Final Four, and it's only the first race of the playoffs, and that's Kyle Busch, as he has dominated this season. And if he does not make it to the Final Four, I would be extremely surprised because he comes in with a lot of playoff points. We know Kyle Busch is just going to breeze his way through this playoff grid, so he's not going to be a concern of ours, really. It's just going to be focusing on getting to the next round, in each round, obviously, now, and hopefully fight for a championship in Miami as we came through to complete this first and opening lap. Clearing now Ryan Blaney, already going up to P13. Is that a bit of a moment there, slipping and sliding and allowing our teammate of Harvick to get to my inside? He would be able to make a pass, but we would fight back as we came through now on lap 3, going 3 wide up the middle between our teammate of Harvick, and then on the inside of us we had Ryan Newman in the number 6 car for Roush Fenway. As we go down into turn 3, Chase Elliott had actually taken the lead, and he was starting to drive away at this point. Elliott is showing a lot of speed as we're 3 wide up the middle again between Harvick and Martin Truex Jr., but we will continue on our way, now getting up to P11 as we came through on lap 10, and Chase Elliott had continued to drive away from the field now as we were trying to pass Ryan Newman for that 10th position, as a caution actually would come out and obviously set up for a later first stage restart. Harvick had driven away from me. He had been up now in P6, but some drivers coming into the pit lane, I decided we were going to stay out because we want stage points. So sure enough, we come out and get ready to go green from P9 here in Las Vegas, a little bit past the midway point of this first stage. Denny Hamlin and Ryan Newman side by side just in front of us. Now behind us we got our teammate of Eric Almirola, who comes into the playoffs, I believe, just barely to the good or barely outside of that cutoff. I can't remember which one it is now. As we come through, touching that apron just a tiny bit there as we exit turn 2, a little bit sideways on the exit of the corner, but nothing I could not deal with now as we go down towards turn 3 behind that 11, trying to get to the inside of the 22 of Joey Logano. Chase Elliott, the leader, jumps up to the top, and that allows Brad Keselowski to pounce to the bottom lane as we exit turn 4 down this front straightaway. Can Brad Keselowski take the lead here now as we cross the line with 6 laps to go in the stage, looking to the inside as well of Kyle Busch, who seems to be falling back on this restart. Now is Kurt Busch. He's going to go up the inside of Keselowski, make a 3 wide with him and Bowman for that position as we came through, though, coming to 2 to go. Could not quite do much when we got settled out because we were still battling with Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Alex Bowman, though, was battling side by side on this final lap with Chase Elliott for the stage victory, but Elliott has that inside lane and the advantage. He would pounce over Bowman to take that lead away. Now as we had the momentum on Kyle Busch, we're going to look to the outside as we're doing the same thing we did in the spring of this race, running that top lane as seem to suit my car a lot more better than the bottom did. Now it's come through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time here in stage 1. Chase Elliott leads over his Hendrick Motorsports teammate of Alex Bowman, and Chase Elliott will win stage 1. There's who nearly make contact with Kyle Busch across the line to get P6 in the first and opening stage here of the playoffs at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So Elliott picks up a playoff point. He does not have a win this season, and he starts the playoffs off with a stage win. So a very strong effort from the 9 of Chase Elliott, as we would pit for 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires. And obviously, hopefully we come out here still in a solid position, preferably on the inside lane. And sure enough, we do get an inside lane starting position. Chase Elliott comes out still in P1, Alex Bowman in P2, Kurt Busch and Kyle Busch, the Busch brothers, on row number 2. Now as the green flag is out, we are back underway. You notice a car on the pit lane from that caution that came out earlier, and it's actually the 14 of Clint Boyer, our teammate, who comes into this playoffs right around that cut line. So that's going to be a huge hit to our teammate of Clint Boyer now, as he was the reason for that caution earlier in stage 1. So that will end Clint Boyer's race, and now he's going to have to probably win in one of the next 2 if he wants to make it into that round of 12. Obviously, there's been rumors swirling that we could potentially replace Clint Boyer next season in career mode, or we could be staying with the 41. Still not quite sure what's going to be happening with ourselves here yet with Stuart Haas Racing as we come through to complete this first lap of the second stage, running P5 just behind the 18 of Kyle Busch as I jump up to that middle to higher lane to see if I can make something happen there, as I just didn't feel comfortable on the bottom like I did earlier in the spring race. But we continued to run about P5 or so as we came through on lap 4, heading down into turns. One is the 22 of Logano, just drove into my left rear quarter panel on the entrance of the corner, moves me up the track, but thankfully we hang on to it there. So it was just a bit of a racing moment there with Joey Logano. Wasn't any hard feelings about that one. Now as we came through though on lap 12, running about P8 or so, now as Denny Hamlin was on the inside there, as Keselowski up ahead, Logano had driven away at this point. Now as we were continuing to battle with Denny Hamlin and Brad Keselowski basically throughout the rest of the stage, it felt like. Now as we go down into turn 3, clearing Hamlin, sending it up the inside of Keselowski, hoping that I can build up a good run, but this bottom just destroys your momentum on the exit of the corner as Keselowski, he would be able to stay clear as we came through now to lap 15, approaching 2 to go on the stage. I send it up the inside again, but this time I stay in the throttle and slide up in front of Keselowski as we came through out of turn 4 and take P6 away from the Penske driver as Chase Elliott continued to lead. We came through to start the final lap now of the second stage. Hamlin looks to my inside again as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. Keselowski starting to fall behind his Harvick. He gets up into the mix as well there as we clip the wall on the exit of the corner, and that slows up our momentum quite considerably as the tire icon comes on as we go down into turns 3 and turn 4 for the final time here in stage 2. Hamlin has the advantage. He's going to get clear as Harvick's going to get to our inside now as we exit turn 4. Elliott with the stage victory now as Harvick's going to barely get us at the line as we give up 2 points there on that final lap and get P8 in stage 2. Elliott with another playoff point, so very good start to the playoffs so far for Chase Elliott. Now as obviously we would have to come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel again and 4 tires, as well as I made a slight wedge adjustment hoping the car would get a little bit looser. And we would gain 2 positions on the pit lane, climb up to P6. Our pit crew has been very solid recently in our career mode, so hopefully we can continue that throughout this playoff run. Now as the green flag is out and the third and final stage at Las Vegas is underway. Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, they've been the class of the field today here in Las Vegas, or tonight in Las Vegas. So we know that they're going to be probably the 2 guys to beat right now. Bowman has a win this season. He's the only Hendrick Motorsports driver with a win this season, as Elliott is looking for win number 1 now as we exit turn 2, heading down this back straightaway. Hamlin, Logano side by side as Kyle Busch tries to get up in the mix between the 2 Hendrick drivers of Elliott and Bowman. Obviously, those have been the only 2 competitive Hendrick drivers this season. William Byron, he's made it into the playoffs barely over Kyle Larson, but he's certainly tonight not really been a factor either now as we come through completing this first and opening lap and in the third and final stage behind Keselowski, who looks to the inside of his Penske Racing teammate of Joey Logano. We're going to go 3 wide up the inside there as I was just able to find that little hole to slip my car into, and sure enough, we gain a couple positions and find ourselves in P4 as Busch and Bowman battle side by side down into the third corner. Elliott loves to see that, and that will probably increase his chances of driving away from those 2 drivers now as we came through though on lap 45 on the exit of turn 4, nearly getting into the wall, but this time Keselowski, he had gotten to my inside, he had run me down. The car just didn't have the pace that I was hoping for as we came through now with 21 laps to go, still running right behind Keselowski. To go down into turns 1, the caution actually would come out with 21 laps to go. Not quite right within range, I believe, to actually get some fuel and make it to the end. There's, you see Clint Boyer down 37 laps. Terrible for Clint Boyer. Now, as we would obviously stay out and get ready to go green, right back into the action from P5 as the green flag once again is out. Can Elliott hang on for the final 18 laps and get his first win of the season at a great time to start the playoffs here in Las Vegas? Kyle Busch is right on his back bumper. Last time we came to this racetrack, Kyle Busch won over myself when we finished in that second position, as we had one great race. Las Vegas earlier this season, still the best race I've had in a NASCAR game, and since I've started playing NASCAR games back in about 2007 or 8 or so, when I was a 7 or 8 year old. Now has come through out of turn 4. Kyle Busch trying to look to the inside of Chase Elliott for that lead, but Elliott used that momentum on the exit of the corner to hold on to the position for now. Now, obviously, he is up to second, though, past the 88 of Alex Bowman, so Bowman fading a little bit as we get to the inside of him, as well as we come through the center of the corner, but we wouldn't quite be able to clear him as we came through out of turn 4 on lap 53. I had actually gotten into the wall there as Bowman had been battling back against Kyle Busch, so Harvick gets past me. Keselowski as well looked to my inside, and then we had actually been able to fight back past Keselowski, but we had gotten Harvick in front of us at this point. Kurt Busch had gotten in front of me now as we came through on lap 60. We had to make some green flag pit stops, which were coming up very shortly now as we came through at the turns 2, continuing to battle with these guys. Less than 10 laps to go at this point. There's Harvick gets slowed up. I go 3 wide up the middle between Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick as we go down into turns 3 and into the center of the corner. Kyle Busch chooses that middle lane and allows his brother to the inside, as now Jones looks for our inside as we're still 3 wide up the middle on the exit of turns 4, a little bit sideways, but we hang on to it now as we go down this front straightaway, crossing the line. Just 6 laps to go as it's Bowman now leading over Chase Elliott as we go down into turns 1. They're battling it out for the victory now as Jones is going to look to the inside of Kurt Busch. We come through the center of the corner to get clear of Kyle Busch and take over P5 as we came through now a few laps later, actually having to make green flag pit stops this very lap now as we come through down into turn 3 behind the one car of Kurt Busch. The leaders come in, and so do we now as we make a bit of a mistake onto the pit lane, and Kyle Busch goes by. Harvick got into our back bumper, so we slow him up, but we clear Eric Jones, and I decided we're going to take half a can of fuel and right side tires, because the right side tires, or at least the right rear tire, would not make it to the end of this race if we didn't put tires on. But you see the AI, we're already going by because they decided to take no tires, which is going to put us quite a bit behind here in these final laps. But we do have the tire advantage now, as like I said though, if I did not take right side tires, my right rear had no chance of making it, so I had to make that pit stop. I felt like they didn't have to, so at least I was just hoping it would kind of stay green and we'd be able to get as many cars as we could in these final few laps. Now, as there would only be 3 laps to go though once we cross the line, but the smoke ahead there, and it's from the 6 of Ryan Newman, and the caution is going to come out with 4 laps to go here in Las Vegas, and this is going to force overtime. I was hoping it was going to stay green, but now it bunches us all back up, and we're going to be restarting down in P15. Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, they got messed over as well. They're not even on the front row, as it's all over the place now. Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch now find themselves on the front row as the green flag is out for overtime here in Las Vegas, so we kind of get messed up there from that caution, and now we find ourselves down in P15, still with a tire advantage, but now do we have the car to actually be able to make something happen? Now as we go down into turns 1, we're going to get aggressive with Joey Logano and go up the inside of him and Martin Truex Jr. there as we clear the 22 on the exit of the corner. A lap and a half remains as Kyle Busch is looking for win number 10 on the season. Him and Kevin Harvick now are going to battle side by side as Harvick has actually gotten to the inside of Kyle Busch as he come through out of turns 4, as now Logano's going to get to my inside. There's the car just did not feel as good as I was hoping it would here on this final restart. 3 wide up the middle now as the white flag is in the air. Harvick on the inside of Kyle Busch as they go down into turns 1 now. Is going to send it in pretty deep, getting into the side of our Stewart-Haas Racing teammate of Eric Almirola there. A bit of a mistake on my part as Harvick, though, is clears down the back straightaway for the lead over Kyle Busch as we're still 3 wide up the middle once again as we go down into turn 3 with Joey Logano. We clear Almirola, and now he's going to get back to my inside now as Kevin Harvick, though, leads on the exit of turn 4. Harvick will win the first race of the playoffs as we get into the back of Paul Menard as we come through to cross the line, barely in front of Eric Almirola to get P13 here at the mile-and-a-half to start the playoffs, as it's Harvick with the victory now as our Stewart-Haas Racing teammate finds himself locked in to the next round, so he does not have to worry about Richmond or the Charlotte Roval. Kyle Busch nearly got win number 10 on the season, but not good enough for us, as obviously we had a top 5 car probably, and then we finished 13th with it. Now, as I said after the race, solid car today, unfortunate circumstances at the end will turn it around at Richmond. At least, hopefully, we'll turn it around at Richmond. We'll obviously have to wait and see what we can do at that short track. Now, as Eric Jones, he wasn't very happy. He said, "What is your major malfunction?" I did not like that comment, so I actually provoked him, and then I apologize to Kurt Busch as well as Paul Menard when we got straight into the back of him on that final lap now. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. Here comes the playoff grid now after Las Vegas. So P13, not the finish we deserved, but we still had solid stage 1 and 2 results. So we shouldn't have taken much of a hit. We probably still gained points, and we're about to see that here on your screen in just a moment. Obviously, Kyle Busch, he's up top. There's no stopping Kyle Busch. Kevin Harvick locked in with 38 points to the good. And William Byron, Blaney, Hemrick, and Boyer are all on the outside looking in. They're going to have some work to do in the next one. So I will see you guys in the next one for Richmond for the second race of the playoffs. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and have yourselves a great day.